Ms. Thompson, you are summoning Mr. Mckinley to court to prove to him and his wife that he fathered your 6-month-old son, Legend. You say his wife is petty, and she is the cause of his paternity denial. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mckinley, you admit that Ms. Thompson was an affair gone wrong, and you say Ms. Thompson needs to leave you and your wife of 17 years alone and find her baby's father. Is that correct?
Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Thompson, how did you end up in a relationship with a married man?
Okay, I ended up in a relationship with Terrell, and I wouldn't consider it a relationship. I would consider it friends with benefits. I was on Facebook, and he was always liking my pictures. He was commenting on my pictures. He was always trying to get attention, to be noticed. One day, excuse me, I'll let you talk. One day, one day, I finally gave him a chance because he was real thirsty, and I gave him a chance because I was like, okay, I want to go out on a date.
That's a lie.
I haven't even started talking, so I'm gonna let them hang themselves.
So let her get this story out, then I'm gonna come to you, Mr. Mckinley. I want to hear your side.
Because like I said, I'm 25, and I'm just trying to tell you the story because you asked me. So I chose him to go out with, obviously because he was always giving me nice notes, because I wouldn't be here today, or we wouldn't even be asking if he was my baby. So yeah, he was attracted to me.
And she thought she just went
So
with
to
it.
make a long story short, I dated him. We had rap in common because I rap. You know, when I write music, I sing. I took him to the studio. We spit some bars. Make a long story short, we ended up dating, having sexual encounters. We protected ourselves majority of the time. I had been drinking, and we had messed around. I wasn't sober enough to make the right decisions, and he knew that.
That's a lie.
So he took advantage of that.
That's a lie.
Okay, so wait a minute. Did you know he was married?
He told me that he was separated,
She
which
lied.
was
She
true.
knows, Your Honor.
They weren't together. She stayed in a shed.
She lied.
And he stayed in a room in a masculine house.
Your Honor.
All right.
She lied. Hold on. Your Honor, she lied. Okay, I went on his Facebook. She's always posting new pictures and this and that in his
because
video.
I
went in
you
her.
ain't my business.
Hold on. I went in his private. And I saw what
she had to make a fake.
Okay, let me hear what they're saying. Let me hear what they're saying, Ms. Thompson.
This how it go. From my knowledge, I post a picture of me leaving the studio. Miss Thompson got in my DM, when you gonna bring me to the studio? I said, well, I don't know. Do you rap? She like, yeah, she
can't even rap.
I said, well, okay.
He can barely talk.
I'll live there and bring you today.
You know what?
So look, lay it on that day.
I don't.
Lay it on that day. I ain't win.
To the judge.
Then the next day, she got in my inbox. I thought you were gonna bring me to the studio.
She didn't play her role. She was a side chick, okay? Side chick.
I didn't have to stick around with him, Your Honor. They were separated.
So listen, hold on. That's interesting testimony, Mr. McKinley, and I want some answers.
Go ahead.
Let's talk one at a time. Let's talk one at a time. So out of the blue, she just sends you a message and says, when are you gonna take me to the studio?
Yeah, to the
and you don't know who this girl is.
Nah, I just knew she was one of my friends on Facebook. I could have been a plot she skiing on from day one because I always had her on Facebook.
He worked at the Goodwill. Why would I want him? He worked in the donation thing before he got hired. Why would I want him? And he's 2 decades older than me. Y'all are 2 decades older than me. Don't play with me.
All right,
okay. Ms. McKinley, I want to know from you, how did you find out about all this?
Okay, ma'am, one of the girls up there told me that my husband have a young girl in the room. So I knew I had a picture how the girl looked. So I went over myself, knocked on the door. He asked who was it. I didn't answer. So he opened the door. I went in there. She laying in the bed, under the cover.
Whose house was this?
I took the cover off her head. And I'm like asking him, what's going on? He's like, well, we doing music. Sit down. I'm like, no, I won't sit down.
You doing music in the bed under the cover?
I had my
Your Honor.
He was doing music. He wasn't having sex.
You asked me. And that's how I found out. I had an idea it was her, because I read his Facebook. They on there flirting with each other on Facebook. So I'm like, okay, I just had to put a picture to the face.
Your Honor, since I was having an affair, like they said, how is it that me and him ended up going to New Orleans and I met his entire family?
Because
how is it that he was able to take me to his daughter, his father?
You were going places?
I went to New Orleans with him, regardless of, I had a struggle. I was struggling. And I had somewhere to go, but if he want, I was with him, so I went with him. When we went to New Orleans, he introduced me to his family, his sister, his cousins. I went swimming. I'm talking about it's like I'm his girlfriend, you know? But in my mind, I'm like, okay, this man too old for me.
Wait,
but at the time, it's fun right now because I'm young and I'm having fun and I'm enjoying his company. That's it. So I went to Tulane Hospital because I wasn't feeling good. He took me. I told him that I was expecting. I did not say it was his. I told him that I was expecting because I'm a woman. I'm going to own up to my crap. So I said, okay, it's a chance that this might not be your child.
All right.
He was upset. He got in his feelings. This man is lying. Look at me. He was all up in my face. He spent money on me. He let me drive his car, and he didn't have no money for me. But at the same time, I had fun enjoying his company.
So you went all
and I ain't have to spend no money.
A man with no money?
Yana.
He loves this child, and I know he does. But this woman here is not going to let him love this child because she's telling you about my Facebook. My Facebook is private. She's been saying that I'm childish. Yeah, I'm upset. That's my baby right there. I love my child. I take care of him. I have been going through hell because all I want him to do is be a father. I have let them see my child. They have took pictures with my child. Now they're on the courthouse saying that, oh, I don't think that's my baby. That ain't my baby. That's not true. They have been around. I let her around. I don't want your man. For one, he too old for me. He ain't even attractive to me. He was just, at the time, he was just something to do.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
Let me tell you something. I called him in the hospital on the second day because I looked at my child and I said, dang, man, I'm going to own up to that. I did not want him to be the father, but my child sure do got a lot of features. This evidence shows that he has a stacked toe. Like, he grew into it, but when he was born, it's genetic things. I asked Terrell about my son. I told him about it. Oh, yeah, that's me. So if that ain't your baby, take your shoe off. Let me see your toes.
You want to see my toes?
Yeah, let me see. Take them off. You got on, did you put on socks today?
So you say the overlapping of toes,
did not come from me.
And it didn't come from you.
He admitted that he had stacked
It
toe.
affects an estimated 10% of the population, and it's more than likely that heredity plays a part. And then when children and infants have overlapping toes, it's usually the case that one or both parents have the same condition. Do you have an overlapping toe, Mr. Mckinley?
No.
Take your shoe
I got
off.
one toe next, my big toe too long. That's the only thing wrong with
Something
my
wrong
toe.
with it. Ain't nothing wrong with my toes.
And I have this evidence.
I'd like to see
we
your
got
evidence.
this about 3 months ago.
Yeah, come on.
Through a text telling my husband, oh, this legend dad
that's
right
legend
here.
dad there.
This evidence
Yes, ma'am.
is a picture you said you saw.
Your
Where?
She sent it
to me.
Terrell's phone.
She
It's still
sent
in
it to
his
me,
phone.
mad.
As a matter of fact, it's still in her phone.
Yeah,
in his
mad.
phone.
So you got a text, and it was this picture, and the caption was
Saying Legend's
real father.
Yes,
Goodbye.
yeah,
goodbye.
I have nothing to hide. I did not say that. You can go ahead and prove it.
So
Go get his
how do
phone,
you
go do
think
what
they
gotta
got
do.
this text if it didn't come from you?
This woman made a fake page. I have my page private. That's how I know it got to be an app because I didn't
You're
write it.
saying they made this.
You
They
know,
created
they
this.
made it up because she made up a whole fake page.
So
All of this that they doing is to make me look bad, but I'm really upset because I could care less if he in his life or not. I just want to know who the father is so I can get the help that I need because I'm struggling with my child. If you want to beat her, that's fine, but she don't got to tag along your coattail just to go see your child. I didn't have sex with her. I don't mind her coming
You're not to be
sometimes, but
trusted
she
at
thinks
your
that we are
house.
sleeping together. I don't want him.
This is not about legend. This is about her
Yes, it
with
is.
my husband.
It's about my
She
child.
calls me on my phone. She calls me and my husband. We let it go to voicemail.
Object.
She called us. I got voicemails. I got text messages.
I think that she
called
should be more
everything.
mature than that and take in consideration that stuff happens and she doesn't need to be a pain in my behind.
Let me ask you one question. Have you ever been married?
No, I've not been married.
Okay.
That's all I
want to know.
right,
That's all I want to know. Because I can understand now why your perspective is so one-sided and you don't understand. I'm accepting your mouthing off because I know it comes from a place of hurt because I can see you. It's just yabba, 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 yabba. And I'm trying to refrain from beating you down because the truth is you are a young girl. You stand here now and it's, I don't want him. You slept with him. You knew he didn't have no money. You knew he worked at the Goodwill. You knew he had a wife. And you knew he didn't have anything. No, hold on. I let you talk all day. Now I'm going to talk. You knew all this about this man. And I'm not saying he's right because he's wrong as the day is long. But what I'm saying to you is that as you speak, at first I wanted you to get the chip off your shoulder because I thought maybe after you got it off, we could get to really who you are and how this happened.
I
All in my
didn't
mind as I'm
expect
saying is, what are we gonna do?
I didn't expect to
how
be
do we do
pregnant.
that? Of course you did.
I made a mistake.
Of course you did. Now, if you all are trying to see the child, that's what I want to get to next. Legends born. You say you want to be a part of Legend's life until you figure out if, in fact, it's your biological child.
Yes.
You're attempting to do that. Miss Thompson saying every time they come, the wife has to come. I realize what that's rooted in. It's insecurity. What in the world's going to be going on when she go over there? So I get all that. How often have you seen Legend?
3 times.
In 6 months, 3 times.
Before I left New Orleans to return back to Dallas, I called Miss Thompson. How we gonna handle this? I said the same way you don't trust Legend around my wife don't trust me around you. But that still should not involve Legend in the middle of this fight. I say, like, right now, you say you don't want me. Well, what the problem you have with my wife being with me? You know what I mean? It's about Legend. I want a DNA test because
you're saying, and she's admitted in court today, that this child may or may not be your biological child.
That's what I'm saying.
That probably is the most sense you've made today.
And it didn't make no sense to me because it was not true.
Of course it didn't, Miss Thompson.
It wasn't true.
Of course
it was not true. You don't have to feel sorry for me because God has been blessing me and my children, and I have been taking care of them. I put a roof over their head, and I don't have to explain it. You do not know me, but you're looking at me pitiful, like you feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me. And I have this anger built up because he does not take care of his child. So if he doesn't or does, I'm gonna take care of him anyway, and he's still happy.
I'm so glad we're here every day, Ron. That's all I can say.
Me too.
I'm so glad we're here
God
every
woke me
day.
up this morning
I really
to be
am.
here.
I'm sorry, honey.
I'm
What
glad
did
that
you
I was
say?
woke up this morning to be here.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that I had the opportunity to
Absolutely.
speak my mind.
Right. Right. You got your moment to be able to say what you need to say. That's what this moment is.
I feel better.
Listen, not Christo, Miss Thompson. Don't miss your moments in life.
I won't.
Don't let hurt, anger, frustration, you get bitter, your teeth so clenched, you just, it was like your head was gonna pop off.
Yeah, I was upset.
I could see. And
It was
that's
loud.
why I just brought it down, because I knew there was another you in there somewhere.
I'm not gonna cry. My makeup pretty. I'm not gonna cry. I want to, but I'm not.
You do look pretty. You do. And you're a pretty girl. You're a young girl. You have dreams for your life. Look, when you get so hard sometimes and you get so angry, you can't let anything in.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep the bad out, but sometimes you can't let the good in.
I just get overwhelmed because being a single mom and doing the right thing, going without to make sure that they have, which I do, and most women my age don't, it's overwhelming. And especially to have extra drama. And all you got to do is take care of the child and wait till the results come. You didn't have to do all of this. But I was willing to come, and I'm getting it taken care of. So I'm glad that it's.
You got in a situation, okay? You and Mr. Mckinley got in a situation. Like I said, he ain't off the hook, but I'm more concerned with you because he's got support.
And look, yeah.
So when you think I was focusing on you because I was most angry or I thought you were most at fault, no, I'm focusing on you because you stand there by yourself.
And I thank you for understanding.
Absolutely. That's why I'm here. All right. Are we ready for the results?
I wanted to say something. I had made a rap about the whole situation.
Oh.
I wanted to see if I can express that with no interruptions. Can you hold somebody in contempt?
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Thompson has the courtroom.
Let me tell you a little something about me. Pretty Mckinley, solo grinding one deep. I met him on Facebook, he inboxed me, trying to see if he could take me out to eat. I'm knowing this dude want to get in them sheets. I'm from Triple D, so I'm so discreet. Make the dude say he want to marry me. I don't got time, I'm on my grind. Money, 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 that's on my mind. He got me pregnant, stuff got hectic. I got on that phone and start talking reckless. I can't help it, I be stressing, but my kids, yeah, they a blessing. And that's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
Excuse me, Your Honor, can I say something?
No.
Now, I ain't trying to rap. I just want to talk about
No,
something.
I heard what you had to say, and I'm not cutting you off because I don't want you to have your time. I'm cutting you off because your last statement had you right in the place where I feel like we can make progress. So I'm holding you there. The envelope, please, Ron.
Yes, ma'am.
In the case of Thompson versus McKinley, when it comes to 6-month-old Legend, it has been determined by this court, Mr. McKinley, you are the father.
And he's a handsome baby. He get compliments all the time, so.
He is beautiful. In the spirit of that beauty and that innocence, let's go forward better than we have before.
I don't want drama. I never did want drama. It's just hurt me when I ask for something and they don't do it.
I wish I had little boxes and I could wrap it up for you all, put a bow on it and send you out like life is perfect now. But no, that takes work. It's gonna take you all to stay in this place. I see tears in your eyes, Mr. McKinley.
Yes, because I've been wanting to be a part, but she limited that.
Well, we're not talking about that.
I did.
We're not talking about that. You see what I'm saying? Don't go back.
Yeah, they go far.
We know there were issues.
If you want to see them,
Don't
you
go
can.
back. Look, she has given this young man a very strong name, Legend. This child has got to live up to his name. You all don't have any time for this pettiness, this bickering back and forth. Ms. Richardson, you have summoned the defendant, Ms. Russell, to court to prove that her 3-year-old daughter, Alasia, was not fathered by your husband, Mr. Richardson, who recently passed away.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're joined today by his mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Ms. Russell, you say you can't change the fact that you slept with a married man. You claim Mr. Richardson is your daughter's father, and you're entitled to the Social Security benefits for her.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Richardson and Ms. Hill, explain your doubt. Why do you feel Mr. Richardson is not Alasia's biological father?
Your Honor, at my husband's deathbed, I had asked him, did he want to see his child? He said, that's not my child. So he kept telling me all the way until he took his last breath that she was not his child.
And you feel like at that point, if he did feel it was a possibility it was his child, he would have told you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Russell, they say there's no way Mr. Richardson is the father of your child, but you disagree. Explain why.
Your Honor, first of all, I know who I was sleeping with. I'm not that type of person, never have been. My kids are 15 years apart. Prior to me being with Bert, I wasn't with nobody for at least 2 months.
You contend that you were sleeping with no one else.
Correct, Your Honor.
Besides him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Even though you were aware he was a married man.
I wasn't aware of that, Your Honor. I wasn't told about a wife until I was with the mom one day, and I told her that he had asked me to marry him in a text. She said, I don't know how he gonna ask you to marry him when he already married. When I asked Bert about it.
Got that right, you knew.
When I asked Bert about it, he told me that they were separated and that he was waiting on her to pay for a divorce because he couldn't do it.
He wasn't
All
gonna
right,
get
Ms.
no
Hill.
divorce. He wasn't gonna get no divorce.
That might be
He
true.
always loved that Lisa.
But that's not what
and
he told
Lisa
me.
is
And I
my
sent
daughter-in-law,
papers to
and that's
him
that.
for the
That's all it's gonna
And the
be.
fact that he lied about everything but his
He,
name.
went to sign, he said he was not going to sign no papers. He was not
No.
getting a divorce.
She told my son it was not his child. Okay,
I
then
said I
you turned
wish it was-
around.
I wish it was
Then you
another
turned
person
around
to
and
blame.
said it was his child. Now what I supposed to believe?
Ms. Richardson, when did you find out?
I found out from my mother-in-law. She wrote me a letter and we
Yep.
talked over the phone, and she told me that he had a girlfriend, and she also told me that he had a baby. She sent me a picture of the child. I don't even know what to say really about this because I'm very devastated, I'm upset, I'm angry.
We haven't
I
really
haven't
mourned.
time to grieve over my loss of my husband. I was there when he took his last breath.
She was there the
I was
whole
there
time.
The whole thing.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Ms. Russell, take me back. Tell me a little bit about this relationship.
When I met Bert, it was in December. I was living with my aunt. February, he called me and said, I'm about to go put this money down on this apartment for us. But he called me and said that he was meeting with the landlord. He was $100 short. I was just getting off the highway with my mom. I went to the ATM, got the $100 and met him at the apartment behind his mama's house with the landlord and gave him the $100. Before he went to work that same day, he came over my aunt's house and gave me a key. The whole time I was living with my aunt, I had been sick off and on, but I had thyroid problems, so me not having my menstrual regularly, I didn't pay it no attention. The end of March, I got up to go to the bathroom one day and I could barely move. I called my mom and asked her to take me to the hospital. My aunt ended up taking me. I get to the hospital, they're like, just so we suspected you pregnant. I start laughing. I thought it was a joke. I'm like, this is the day before April Fool's Day, why are you playing? I was 4 months and 3 days. And that was the middle of April I found out. I started messing with Bert the second week of December. I hadn't been with nobody since October.
And then after that time, you ended the relationship.
I left him June 28th. He went to work. I moved all my stuff out and went to a shelter.
Was he accepting the child? Was he saying?
No, he told me he didn't want the baby. He tried to pay the neighbor to get me to take some type of pill to get me to have an abortion. So I just decided I wasn't gonna do it, and when I had the money, I was gonna leave.
The man she's telling me about, I'm thinking, was my husband a monster? He didn't act like this with me. We was married 10 years.
Well, you have to understand, Ms. Russell did not know it, but now may have not known it, but it has been revealed that she was...
I'm 39 years old. I was 35. I ain't never in my life been with no married man.
Your Honor, when I
found her,
you should have stopped there. Why sit up there and keep messing around with him? And then
I left
turn
him
around
when I
and
was
burn
5
up his
months
clothes.
pregnant. After I
His
found
clothes
out,
that his
I 4
wife bought
months, left
him.
at 5.
She didn't buy him
what I
nothing.
did.
You were about to say, Ms. Richardson.
I had a child that died 2 years prior. And this child was throwed up on Facebook, just totally disrespected me as a wife. And I feel like, you know, I was still grieving of the loss of my child. Then you posting your child, even if you found out that he was married or you didn't know at that time, it's like you should have shown respect to me. And then when all of it came up, you're acting like you're the victim. No, you're the volunteer. Because when you take on a relationship with a married man... I volunteered to have my whole
life messed up by your husband?
When you date a married man, you're volunteering for trouble. That's what I'm talking about.
I met Bert at the store. He was with a dude that I grew up with. Probably about a week later, me and him ended up talking on the phone. From that point on, we was together almost every day. He told me he was staying with his brother. About a month after I met him, I found out he was living with another female, a 21-year-old girl that was his girlfriend.
And so the bottom line is you met.
I met
and you
Bert
started
at the store
you started a sexual relationship.
Yes.
After you started talking.
Correct.
And did you ever have a suspicion that he could be married?
Not at all.
I told
we
her.
was together every day. Yes, Miss Hill, you did after we found out I was pregnant.
All right. You've brought another witness. I'd like to hear from her. Ms. Barr, please stand up and join me.
Let him live in peace.
Here on the witness stand. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
The late Mr. Richardson is your...
He's my uncle.
He's your uncle.
My best friend, actually.
And so did he speak to you about this situation?
He did.
What did he tell you?
Before I even knew anything of Miss Russell, Your Honor, he was down south while his wife was away. And the first thing he said was, niece, I don't think that this baby is mine. I even have somebody else who's coming to visit me while I'm here. So she was never in the picture until the fact that she had the child. So after
So you're saying Ms. Russell was not in the picture when he was speaking about his relationships. He never spoke about Ms. Russell.
He never spoke about her until the fact that he said that there was a possible chance that her daughter, Alasia, was his.
And when he told you that, what did he say related
He said, I don't think that I could possibly have a child by her within this time when it took me so long to have kids by my wife, let alone that
her
my
body
two kids
ain't got
passed
nothing to do
away.
with mine.
Okay, it doesn't. I'm not saying that your body has anything to do with it, but both women that he has been with, it took them over 3 years to get pregnant by him.
That still got nothing to do with me.
Okay, it might not have nothing to do with you, but at the same time, though, even for you to sit here and tell him that you wish that he wasn't her daddy, that's very disrespectful for you to slander his name on Facebook. Every time my uncle mess with somebody, I know everything he do. Like you said, he was staying with somebody.
Obviously you don't.
Obviously I do.
So
for
you know
him
about
to
the
say
other
here,
8.
okay.
You know about all of them then.
I know about every last one of them. Yes, I do. Every time my uncle mess with somebody, I know everything he do.
You know about all of them then.
I know about every last one of them.
Yeah,
yes,
you
I
probably do now because of his wife.
No, it ain't had nothing to do with his wife, because before his wife, I knew about who he was talking to then, while he was married to his first wife.
So, Miss Barr, so you do know that your uncle was sleeping with women other than his wife?
I do know that.
You just did not know particularly about Ms. Russell.
Yeah, because not even, this is no disrespect to her. I'm not saying that she wasn't irrelevant to him because I don't know their relationship personally. But he did bring another lady down to see him. When he brought her to South Carolina, he never even mentioned her name until he was like, oh, I got to deal with some stuff when I go back. But when he came back, my grandmama had the baby on the couch at like 6 months maybe. We came up to visit, my baby was 3. Okay, I was like, who baby? Oh, that's your uncle's baby. I said, oh, well, okay.
So wait, when you saw, when you saw Miss Russell's baby for the first time, she was on your grandmother's couch, Miss Hill, and you said whose baby is it? And she said that's your uncle's baby?
Yes.
So there was an acknowledgement.
Miss Pam was acknowledging my baby until Miss Richardson came back.
No.
No.
That's not true.
She not.
I kept saying to myself, is this my son's child or is it not? I told him to go get a DNA.
So you've taken a DNA test prior. You did?
Yes.
After
what happened exactly?
And conclusive. After my son had passed away, there was a letter came through the mail. It said for child support. I opened it up because my son is dead. So I opened it up and seen for child support. I called the people, let them know my son is dead. So what is this all about? They said, well, ma'am, since he dead, we need a DNA test did on you. When the paperwork came back, it was inconclusive. That means the child does not have my DNA and she is not related to me. Hello.
So when you had the prior test done, who was tested?
I was tested.
Just you?
Yes.
All right. And the child, of course?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Russell, when you got the results and they said they were inconclusive, what did you think?
I didn't know what the problem could have been because, again, I know who I was with.
But I'm the one pushing this. I want closure. I got doubt because someone on their deathbed saying no.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what to believe. I'm here today to
That
find
man
out.
went all the way,
I want Daniel
all the way
to
6
tell
feet
me.
under with all his lies.
Well, you know
what?
what?
Don't talk about him because
I'm not talking about it. I'm the one.
Yeah, he did lie, but he's not the only person who has lied. So don't
about everything.
Hold on. One person at a time. I see you're feeling emotional, Miss Russell, upset. You're saying you've been lied to the most. Explain to me these.
There's 5 things he told me that was the truth. His name, where he worked at, who his mama was, and his age. Well, 4. Everything else he told me was a lie. The relationship from the beginning was garbage.
My mother-in-law, Pamela, Miss Hill, she cries a lot. She want closure. She don't want to walk away from the child and me neither. I would probably be just really devastated if I found out today it wasn't my husband's baby because I done set my head in my mind frame that it is his child because of what she's telling me. She's saying that it could be no other father. I'm on her side on that part, but I'm on her side as a woman. I'm putting myself in her shoes. I'm trying to be a peacemaker in this whole situation. And I feel like as a victim in the situation, I shouldn't care at all. But I do.
You're not the only victim.
I even had
I've been dealing with this for
made
years.
for her child a year ago. After when my husband died, I had this necklace made last July. I haven't given it to her because I don't know whether my husband is the father or not. I got it engraved, and it says, always in my heart. And it has his remains in it. And if he come back today that my husband is that child's father, I want to give her this necklace. If not, it's going back home with me.
Thank you.
I also want to bond with this child if it's my husband's child.
Did you and your husband ever have children together besides the one you lost?
We had that one child and she passed away.
So in some ways, this really would be a piece of your husband, a piece of your son.
Yes, if it's true.
If it is, in fact, his biological child.
And if it come back today that he's not the father, are you willing to go on Facebook and apologize to me as a wife?
Please.
For
Not
her,
a
the mother,
please.
to the family?
Will.
I should have been the one beating you up. but I didn't. I stayed humble. I'm his wife.
One
He
that
could
needed
have
a
called
place
you
to
on his
stay.
deathbed, but he called me. He come and got me.
Well,
It don't even
Ms.
matter to me, though.
Richardson, you said the reason you're here today is for closure.
Yes, and so I
I
can
have
grieve.
the closure for you. I have the
Please,
results.
that's why I'm here.
Jerome,
Please.
the envelope, please.
Make it quick.
Please.
In order to determine if Alasia Richardson is the child of Bert Richardson, we tested both the paternal grandparent, Mr. Richardson Sr., and the maternal grandparent, Ms. Hill. The results determine if there's a viable relationship between the child, Alasia, Ms. Hill, and Mr. Richardson Sr. The results read as follows. In the case of Richardson, Hill versus Russell, pertaining to 3-year-old Alasia Richardson, it has been determined by this court Ms. Hill and Mr. Richardson Sr. are related to Alasia Richardson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all we want.
That's all we wanted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't lie about nothing. I'm too grown for that.
Well, we going by what my husband said, and as a
Yeah.
wife, that was my duty.
I
And you
understand
have
that.
to respect that also.
I
And I'm
understand
still
that.
grieving.
But can I
No
get
one
her
was
some
there.
time?
When he took his last breath, I was there. When he told me she wasn't his, I had to have faith in that. And I'm still
I
hurting.
understand that.
I held his hand.
But I
in
told
his
you from
arm
day
till
one.
He took his last breath.
She look, act like, eat like him, built like him, everything. I'm nowhere in there.
You would like to give the gift, Ms. Richardson,
I would
to
like to.
your husband's daughter?
Yes.
She's a real good woman.
That's
Even
wonderful.
through everything, she said even if she wasn't, she'd have still been there for my baby.
That's wonderful. Ms. Hardin, you have opened your case today in hopes of saving your relationship with the defendant. You say, due to a misunderstanding, he is now denying your 2-month-old daughter, Sophia Nelson. You are certain he is the father, and once proven, you want his help raising your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson, you refuse to lift a finger for a child that isn't yours. You say you are 1,000% certain you are not Sophia's biological father and claim that you know who is.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Hardin, you say you need help.
Delonte doesn't help me with anything. He doesn't help me financially. He won't pick up a diaper. He won't watch her for 15 minutes while I go to the store. He won't watch her for 15 minutes while I get in the shower. He walk past her like she Casper. When she cry, he be like, hey, get your daughter crying. Your daughter wants you, get her, get her. He don't help me at all.
One, I don't see why I should have to do all of that if I'm not 100% sure that I'm the father.
My
Not the
baby look
father.
just like you. You denying
Bro.
her, she look just like you. Y'all cheeks, y'all face structure, your forehead,
She
your
look
eyes.
like you.
No, she don't look like me. I look
And
like
so,
my mom.
Mr. Nelson, you are basically saying that Ms. Hardin's testimony is correct. I really want to understand the nature of your relationship, how you all met.
I met her when I went down to Louisiana with my family. I thought she was cool. She wanted to move with me to Arkansas.
Wait a minute, how did we get there?
Right. No, that is not how it went.
Yes,
No.
it is.
So how did it happen, Ms. Hardin?
When he came down to visit with his family members, we became friends first, and then when it was time for him to go back to Louisiana with his family, he asked me, do you want to come with me or do you want to stay?
How long was he there?
He was there for a couple of months.
I said, you could come if you want to. I said, but the best choice for you is to stay home with your people. That's
Your
how that
people.
She wanted.
But you went anyway.
Yes,
I did.
Yes, Your Honor. She came in.
All right. And then soon after that, you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me what happens when you find out you're pregnant.
At first, I panicked because I didn't know how he would respond. He didn't seem like the person to want to have a kid. He didn't seem like a kid person. But, I mean...
That's true.
So why were you having unprotected sex with this young man and you didn't think he was the kid type? And why are you following behind him?
I didn't really have anybody. My mom died when I was 12. My dad's not in my life. My grandmother, she's not really there either.
Okay, now I understand what's going on. That's all right. We come here to tell the truth. And if that's your truth, you say it.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were feeling alone in the world.
Yes. Yeah, and I never really had nobody in my life talk to me, you know? Nobody, they would like talk, but they wouldn't listen to where I was coming from. They didn't listen to what I had to say, and he was there for me, and I gravitated towards it.
So you wanted to have his baby because this was a person now that I decided.
felt like I was gonna be with him for the rest of my life.
Right. So take me to the birth.
He was semi there, I call it.
At least
When
I
I
was
started,
there. A lot of
but that don't count. That don't count.
A lot
That
of
don't count.
dudes
That
wouldn't
don't
even
count.
be there.
He watched her be pushed out. He waited for my daughter to be weighed and wiped off, and he told me, that's a white man's baby, and walked out of the hospital room.
What?
Cause she came out like really like.
That's how she came out.
She didn't look like that.
She been
came
in
out.
the womb.
Come on, I'm black though. A black baby go come out with some type of blackness on them.
Babies come out in all different shades and colors.
That wasn't the
That's
real
not an
reason why.
excuse.
So, Mr. Nelson, did you sign the birth certificate?
No, ma'am. No, Your Honor, I didn't.
So you came there to support, but in your mind, you were like, this isn't my child, so I'm not signing the birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
No, that's not what happened.
What happened?
When we were on the way to the hospital, I called him multiple times and said, hey, make sure you grab your ID. You need your ID to sign her birth certificate. He left his ID at home on purpose, bought an empty wallet.
Well, on purpose.
On
Same
purpose.
thing, yeah.
So, Mr. Nelson, you say that you didn't sign that birth certificate purposefully
Yes, Your
because you have doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've brought an exhibit to outline that doubt. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't
Please
have no
step
proof.
up to the monitor.
Okay, Your Honor. It all started. We went back to Arkansas, got our own place together. Around that time, her ex-boyfriend, John, and his baby mother, which is Rachel, at the time, didn't have nowhere to go, so they wanted to come stay with us. But that being her ex-boyfriend, I thought it was disrespectful. I said no, she still went along with it anyway, and I found that suspicious because if that was your ex and y'all had relations, why would you want to be under the same roof as him with me? So I got mad and I left during that time.
But if he was with his new wife or girlfriend or fiance, why would it matter if they needed a place to stay for a moment?
Because before I even knew her, all three of them had sexual relations with each other. So I wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not stupid.
sure did.
Ain't nothing about
So they had threesomes together.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So if I'm not there, what's to
What
stop
is
you from
going
doing
on?
it again? Right.
Right.
So eventually they left. I came back. Everything was cool. I thought, everything's fine. I wasn't, suspecting none because I had no proof until I went through her phone and I found text messages of John texting her, hey, baby, you want some more? How you doing? This and that.
What?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want some more?
She denied it. 3 weeks later, found out she pregnant.
And then 3 weeks after that,
Went to the doctor. The doctor said she was 2 months pregnant.
oh, so when you calculated that put you back to that time when you decided you were gonna leave the house.
Right.
The time when you thought she was having the threesomes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may step back to the podium. So now you believe the ex-boyfriend, John, is really Sophia's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Miss Hardin, when we were going over that testimony, you were not vehemently denying anything.
Correct.
So you do admit that you were intimate with this couple,
Yes, I do.
and you admit you were intimate with them when Mr. Nelson left the house.
No,
So you weren't intimate with them then.
not at all.
John would comment on her Facebook and when I'm gonna see my baby and this and that. It got personal when he actually texted her number saying, what we gonna do about our baby? That's my baby. So then he called her.
So you say the ex was not only sleeping with her when you were gone, he's now claiming the baby.
Yes.
When the Facebook post that he's speaking on, he didn't necessarily claim Sophia. He made a statement, which he was like, "How my baby doing?" And I don't necessarily think he was.
That's his baby.
But I mean, we're from Louisiana. That's how you talk. Hey,
I
little
ain't from
baby. Hey,
Louisiana.
baby. What's up, baby? That's how you talk. John called my phone, so I put it on speaker, and John was like, so what we gonna do about our baby, bro? And I was like, huh? What baby? My baby does not belong to you. He was like, come on now, Pinky. We both know what happened when Delonte left. And I was like,
What?
didn't happen.
So the bottom line is your ex got on the phone
And claimed my daughter.
And claimed your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I
that's
want to
what-
see if
yeah.
he's going to claim your daughter in this courtroom. Jerome, please escort Ms. Hardin's ex into the courtroom. I want to hear from him.
Have you come up to the witness stand?
Hello, sir. Please have a seat. State your name for the court.
John Patterson.
Do you think you're Sophia's father? That's what I
No,
want to know.
it's impossible.
Yeah, now you don't.
So
Like, I
why
you denying
are
it
they
now?
testifying that you were on the phone saying, what are we going to do about our baby? You know that's my baby.
I never said that. They're both delusional.
You never claimed this child.
No, actually, I got text messages and screenshots with Pinky texting me, asking me to take a DNA test for the baby because she thinks that the baby's mine.
No, I text you
You
after
have that
the
in your
fact.
hand?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what it is. Let me see that. So this is a text message exchange between you and Ms. Hardin. So, can you do a DNA test for me, please? We talked before and you said you think she's yours. I just want to know. I mean, the timeline adds up.
No, that's not true. When she conceived or whatever, I was in Louisiana.
No, you weren't. You were there, but I didn't have sex with you.
Like,
You
I
were
left.
staying in my
Matter
house.
of fact, she was.
Well, wait a minute. If Mr. Nelson's the father, why do you need a DNA test with Miss Patterson when
I
you
was
said
try-
you didn't sleep with him?
I was trying to prove to him that he wasn't the father. His family members kept coming and was like, that's not your baby.
No, that's
Mine.
not what
your
the
baby.
text message said. Nope. Nope.
I asked him a question. I mean,
You
you
did
really
because
say
I
you're
know
a
that the
liar.
baby-
You were sleeping with me
Because
behind
I've been
Rachel's
going
back
through
at
this
one
with
point
this
in time.
girl- with this
Stop
female
it.
for a very long time.
What did you say?
He was sleeping with me at one point in time behind Rachel's back. Since you want to be up here and bat for everything, tell the truth.
This
That
is
was-
why you're with Delonte.
This is
Wait,
years
hold
ago.
on now.
No, it was not. Me and Delonte
Yes.
were friends. We had just started talking.
Y'all met
the
through
last
us.
time.
Oh, yeah. No.
He
We wasn't
Wait a
together,
minute.
man.
Wait a minute.
together.
Hold
We was not
on.
together.
No.
Hold on.
Yeah, don't cap.
This is getting interesting. I would like to hear from Rachel. That would be Mr. Patterson's wife. Please step up, ma'am.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Rachel. Okay, so I want the back and forth calls with Pinky. Pinky's called me a week and a half ago, telling me that John was obsessed with the fact of thinking that her kid is his. Trying to make me jealous.
Nope.
As me and John got in an argument one time, and then he was being petty, and he was like, "Ha ha, the baby is mine." He told me that, but we were arguing. We were arguing about it.
Oh.
Yes, I did
And he
say that,
was
Your
being
Honor,
petty about it. We
because-
were arguing. But this is after she kept
Oh.
calling me, telling me
But I also
lies
sent
after
you
lies.
screenshots, though, of him
But
telling
you would
me.
tell me one thing and tell Delonte something different
No,
every
he knew.
time.
He has the password.
All
to my
right,
phone.
Miss Davis, thank you for your testimony. It was
welcome.
very enlightening. Now you say your husband, Mr. Patterson, said he's the father. Mr. Patterson, you say Mr. Nelson is the father. Mr. Nelson, you say Mr. Patterson is the father. Ms. Hardin, you told Mr. Nelson he's the father and Mr. Patterson he's the father.
No, I did not tell John he was the father of my child.
That's not true, though, because I've got a series of text messages where you're asking him to have a DNA test because the timeline adds up.
Those messages were after this was all brought up. I didn't claim he was my baby daddy.
If you sent a text to Jerome and said, Jerome, so, can you do a DNA test for me, please? What would you think at that point?
That I slept with her.
Okay, well, I know who
Damn.
my baby daddy is, and it's not him.
Okay, so here we go. This is a mess. I say this in this courtroom all the time. Sex is not a board game. It's not like Monopoly where it's better if you play with more people. It's not. It really isn't. It just gets messier. And at the end of the day, y'all just all up here arguing. So all this little sex and now we gonna have a threesome and now we doing this. No, that's not really how it works. And listen, if that's what you want to do, that's your business, but protect yourself. Because how dare you bring an innocent baby into this nightmare? And I know you don't want this for your child, Ms. Hardin, after what you testified to, that you've been through.
That's
Do
the
you?
reason I'm here.
Jerome, I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hardin versus Nelson, pertaining to whether Mr. Patterson or Mr. Nelson is the father of 2-month-old Sophia Nelson, it has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Nelson. You are the biological father.
First off, I just want to say I apologize to you for accusing you, but you know, you gotta see from my point of view, my shoes. I just wanted to know the truth. Like, cause if I'm gonna be here and we is gonna do this.
Well, can you get a relationship with her now? Can you help me with her?
Of course.
Provide for her?
Of course.
Watch her while I get in the shower?
Of course. You already know how I get down. Of course. I don't play that, but I'm not, nah. He know what he was doing to cause all this, to stir all this up, my
Listen,
doubts.
Can't make a mess, then be mad that it's messy. That just don't make no sense.